Today I'm going to cover really how to find HVAC techs and what's the biggest challenge really around finding HVAC techs, because we know it's just an absolute nightmare to find them. And I'm going to cover this in this kind of webinar today and kind of go through this and really what we're seeing that's working in the recruiting space today. My name is Tim Oyler. I am the founder of 30 Madison Ventures, and we basically have a portfolio of about $60 million. We recruit for HVAC companies. We're probably one of the best in the United States about really tracking down techs and getting them across the finish line. Everyone on our team is super high level. I've done over about 250 million in sales total across my various businesses in the past. Spent about 40 million on paid ads, and I've driven about 1 million people to opt into a website, buy a product or service. So I've had a lot of experience marketing and sales throughout my career. And we're really applying this to like how to find techs, because as you know, finding techs is almost impossible these days with like the traditional methods. And I'm going to show you guys like what we're doing differently and how you can use this to find techs and why it works. So as we know, there's a massive shortage projected in the HVAC tech space right now, over 225,000 projected shortage by 2027. There's 110,000 unfilled HVAC tech positions on Indeed in the United States. So that means there's almost 2 openings for every tech available. So basically the traditional like demand methods of like posting your tech application up and thinking it's going to work, they're going to come to you, just doesn't work. And that's what a lot of traditional recruiters do. There's a massive shortage of techs everywhere, as we know. And the only way to get them is to go after them. So they don't come to you, and every good tech has a job. Look at this number down here. I pulled it like, I think last weekend. There's 29,000 active Indeed listings for HVAC tech. So if you think like, hey, I'm going to go find a tech by posting on Indeed, you're burning money, because a lot of the technicians that are going on Indeed and like searching for jobs aren't the best techs. And as you know, like the applications come to you guys, if you've seen them, they're not great techs, right? So that's like a broken model. That's kind of old school recruiting. And that's why it just doesn't work in today's market. The biggest difference between what we found that works compared to what other recruiters do, or like traditional HVAC companies when they go to recruit, is that we don't like chase applicants. Like we're not waiting for them to come to us. We build the supply. What I mean by that is like we go into a city. Let's say we're going into Dallas, Texas, right? And we go into that city and we're networking within other techs in the city. So we might reach out to techs by cold email, cold outreach, scraping job boards, right? Scraping the licensing boards, like getting a list of technicians. And we start by like leveraging AI to like help us find these guys. And once we get a list of like the technicians that are good, that work for companies or that have applied for jobs in the past, we start networking. That's the difference, is like we actually build the supplies in the cities and generate techs with a flywheel effect by talking to other techs, because good techs know techs, other good techs. Every good tech has a job, and there's no way to get them unless you go after them and build your own network of techs in the city. It's that big of a national crisis in the US right now with techs. And if anybody tells you differently, I just like to hear like how they're actually getting techs and how it works. Because as you know, a lot of you guys have been burned by recruiters. That model just doesn't work today. Like you can't go on LinkedIn and post and think like the best techs are going to come to you. Those are the guys that just like don't need a job, and you're going to get the bottom rung. And not like good techs have jobs, and you got to have an attractive enough offer to pull them over so that you can actually get techs from other companies, or just techs that are unhappy, because there are a lot of unhappy techs. There are a lot of HVAC owners that struggle building culture, building brand, keeping their shoulder seasons busy. And so when we get into like going after that, we consult with the owner. Your offer has to be attractive. You can't be the cheapest one and think you're going to go get great techs. You have to have a great offer, a great culture, a great brand to bring over great talent to keep them. So if you're churning through techs, it's because you don't have the skill set to hire them. Guy built companies for 30 years. It's been one of the hardest things I've ever done, is to learn how to hire great people. At my peak, I did 45 million a year, and I had the best team working for me. And it was the easiest year I ever had running a business, because I just had A-level talent. Once you learn how to hire A-level talent, like it's the biggest unlock in your business you'll ever have as an owner. Your job as a CEO is to move the chess pieces around with A-level talent. Bring them in, attract good talent, hire, train, and ramp. And that's not going to happen by like the traditional methods of getting HVAC techs. And a good tech can make 500,000 a year. I've seen companies 700,000 a year. If they're selling tech, I've seen them make $1 to $3 million a year, right? It's a massive unlock for your business, especially if you ever want to go sell it. And so that's the biggest deal, is like you've got to learn how to get great talent in a really complicated place to do it, because it's not easy, right? This is probably one of the hardest things to do in any job market that I've seen. So here's how we do it that's different, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. So we source, reach, recruit, close. We basically scrape the licensing boards in the area. The EPA boards, the NATE, the fleet rosters, every licensing board we can find, we use AI to scrape the data. We do text outreach to these techs. And we don't just send them any SMS. We are really good at direct response copy and email and marketing. So we know how to send an SMS that gets them to raise their hand. Not only that, we know how to send an SMS that actually delivers to them. And that's the key. You got to have a great offer that gets them, right? Then we also email, even though email's not as good at open rate, but it still gets them. We also can go across state lines to trade schools, to supply houses. And then the magic of this entire model is when we get a guy on the phone that's a good quality tech, we ask for references, peer references. So one tech becomes 3, 3 becomes 6, 6 becomes 12, 18. We start building this supply up of really, really high quality techs. And that's really the magic. It's like, if you can't do that, no great tech is going to be looking for on a job board, because he's going to have networks in the city because he's that much demand. Because a good tech's making 90 to 140,000, depending on if he's a selling tech or not. Selling techs are making more. So let's like compare this to a traditional recruiting company. All right, I'm going to post on Indeed, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter. I'm going to attract all the 3% of the people that job hop and go around to other companies that do the same thing, that pop back on there every 6 months. All these guys have churned out of companies in 45 days. You've seen them. They have criminal records, background problems. They're lazy. They don't do their job because they're just struggling, right? They might have a personal problem, whatever it is. But these are the kind of guys, like, we're not looking to attract that talent. We're looking to attract the guy with 5, 7, 10 years experience that can be truck ready and ready to go. But the only way to get him is with a really attractive offer. And the only way to get him is to get him on the phone. And then we have to sell him to join your company. He's not going to be applying on Indeed or on Facebook. So we have to not only start the cold outreach, get him on the phone, have a compelling message, bring him on the phone, sell him to take the interview, have a compelling offer, and then sell him on the interview to join. Nothing about that process is easy, but our recruiters are like trained sales guys, and we're very good at data, cold outreach, and building the network. That's really the model that works right now, because you're going after like A-level people. Let's keep going. The recruiting flywheel. This is the only way this works. It's completely opposite of most recruiters, because you've probably been burned. Talk to one tech, offer to pay a bonus to refer us to other techs. Get 6 warm leads. 3 peer references because you're a quality candidate. We talk to tech that has 5 years experience. We know this guy's a good fit. Hey, Bob, just so you know, we want to talk to 3 of your references. We want 3 peer references from you. He refers us 3 other techs. We say we want these guys to have 3 to 5 years experience, 7 years experience, high quality. And guess what? Now these leads are warm leads, and now we have 4 candidates for you. Not only that, off of that 4, I then produce another 3. I have 12. 12 becomes 24. 24 becomes 48. 48 becomes 96. And guess what? I built a network in the city that now I can narrow that down, right? And that's the magic of that, because now we have really good sales guys talking to these techs to recruit them to come over. And to get one good tech, it's a volume game. The reason you can't get a good tech is you don't talk to enough people. You can't talk to 3 techs, 7 Indeed applications, and hire the first 3 and hire a guy with a pulse. That doesn't work. That's why you churn them out and they leave. They go to the next job. It's because you might have to talk to 50, narrow it down to 25, go to 10, go to 8, 7, check references, go down to 3, 2, take your time, boom, you got one good one. The amount of volume that it takes to get a great tech is highly underestimated. So that's kind of the process, and that's why we have a team of people that do this. But literally, you could do it yourself, but it does take a lot of time. But that's just the only way that we've found is, like, we build this network in the city. We recruit in 1 to 2 techs, service techs, sales guys, and then we have the network built forever. And that's the benefit, is like, you want to be out ahead of your hiring needs 3 to 6 months, because you don't want to like ramp a guy. I know everyone's done this. You ramp a guy, he leaves. You start over from 0, 2 to 3 weeks, got to get on a deed, got to start the process. You're busy, we're busy, everyone's busy. Here we go. We start the process from scratch. It takes another 30 days to get flow. Then we get another guy, then we burn him out in 60 days and he's gone, or it lasts 4 months and he's gone. The goal is you got to have really good people that attract other really good people. That's really the magic of this. And like nothing's easy about what I just said. This is why we're successful, because I hire really, really good people. This is Tyler, one of our lead recruiters, 10 years in elite skilled trades recruiting for HVAC, top 10 Michigan producers, 6 years in a row, 2023 winner, elite performer. I'm just going to say this guy's awesome. And even recently with some of the clients we've taken on, he's getting candidates within 7 days. We have multiple people in the last 2 weeks that have made offers in like 2 to 3 weeks, which is unheard of, right? In the HVAC tech space, because we know how complicated it is. Especially right now going into summer, like there's a lot of competition around these techs are ramping up for summer. So like Tyler's like a really, really good sales guy, and like he can sell them to take the job. And then they take the interview, and then we consult with you on how to position your offer so that you can land this guy. Because a lot of people go in there like with a cheaper price, but if we make his on-target earnings and his spiffs high enough, you can get really, really good quality guys and have a good base. But a really good guy is going to want upside. But the more upside, the more money you're going to make. So it's a lot of this strategies in the offer positioning, so we stand out from other techs and other like people in the marketplace. That's the difference. It's like your offer wins too. Your offer is just as important because your offer is like the bait we use to attract the tech in. We can get good techs on the phone, but the offer structure has to be there as well. And a good tech can make you $500,000 or more. So it's super important to nail that down. Top brands we work with: 1 Hour Heating and Air. They're a big franchise. AirServe. Another client we got, literally got an AirServe franchise we took on recently in the last 2 weeks, signed up. Within 7 days, we had candidates going and already had an in-person meeting. It looks really good. Climate Care was doing over $7 million a year. Plume Services, Tyler's worked with them for over 10 years. Power Construction, they've been around for 100 years. We work with really good brands and we have a really good team and we're really good at what we do. And that's the difference between us and a lot of people. We've proven track record of what we're doing. We just kind of tell it as it is because we don't want to sell something that's not going to happen. And when you've done it, like, you know how to do it. So you're confident you can provide, but you're also confident that nothing's easy about what we do. Tyler worked for Plume Services. Within 2 days, we have quality resumes, 10 years working with him. Sean O'Malley at Power Construction, load time to fill, strong retention. Mike Nooper, multiple positions filled. This is in West Michigan. Kurt Norberg, he's president of Bell Harvest. He just understands that Tyler understands what it takes to fill the role, and they work together for multiple years. So this is exactly like some of the clients we've worked with. The big difference between us, I think, in a lot of recruiters, and then I'm going to go into some like technical things we do to like actually bring in these actually qualified candidates and that you can take and use. The biggest difference is that we have skin in the game. And so our guarantee is that if we don't provide a quality candidate that you hire, you get a full refund. No questions asked. The reason that I can say that is because I believe in what we do, that I'm willing to put everything on the line and treat this as a partnership so that we can actually provide for you. Like, if you don't get a quality candidate that you hire, you're not out any money. And that's how much I believe in kind of what we do. So we take all the risk off the table for all of our clients because we look at this as a partnership. We want to do it for the long term. We want to be your outsourced recruiting arm that we can build a network in the city and that you guys have candidates for years. We're way ahead of your hiring needs. Because if one tech can make $500,000 and you now go from $2 million or $2.5 million to $3 million, you have more money for leads, more profit, right? You can scale again. And it could one or two, I just got off with the company in New York. They were doing like almost 10 million. And he was like, yeah, each tech makes us $500,000. We're struggling to find techs. 3 techs would put him like another $1.5 million to $2 million and an installer. If he just did that, and his close rate's really bad, or we're going to recruit in a sales guy possibly, he goes from a 20% close rate to a 50% close rate. Does this guy go to 15 million with 3 hires and a good sales guy? Possibly. That's how important good talent is in your business. So one thing I want to cover really quick is just some strategies that we've used to like bring these guys in. And I'm going to show you some like a real life case study of like how we're doing this. So I'm going to pull up live Claude and just show you how powerful this tool is for you guys. So you guys should be using this in your HVAC business all the time. So we're going to do a chat. We're going to go to Dallas, Texas. So HVAC techs, and I'm going to go to please scrape, always leverage Claude and everything. Look at this as this is your partner in crime to basically help your business. How would I find HVAC techs there? One thing we do with everything we do, we literally use Claude to scrape the ZipRecruiter, to scrape all the boards, and they can literally do everything for you. So I can say like, hey, please scrape HVAC tech names and best strategy. Okay, look at this. Indeed resumes, right? Facebook groups, HVAC Dallas techs. These are all the Facebook groups with all the techs in them. So we can go in there and do direct messaging. LinkedIn, that shows you exactly where they're at. This shows you all the trade schools in your area. So you can partner with these people. You can find them. You can also like saying, hey, go to Reddit and do a straight up recruiting pitch there. Nextdoor, local forums, and you can do referrals. So like then you might say, hey, how would I find HVAC Dallas techs and build a list? Google Maps. So this gives you all the company names. Now look how powerful this is. These are some of the exact things we do. Outscraper is going to pull the Google Map list and they're going to export the names. Phantom Buster, the same with Google Maps and Appify, right? We don't use all these tools, but Apollo.com is going to give you the name, their email, and their phone number. We've used Apollo a lot. And the BBDB Dallas is going to give you contractors, Dallas free list, owner name, info. You can find the owner name here, and you're going to see how many employees are actually working for these companies. And you say, yes, I want you to actually build me a sheet out that gives me these names. And then you can reverse engineer and verify the names through Apollo. You can literally get a list of names of all these techs, and then they can literally do research on it and say, give you as much data as you can find about them. 3 to 5 year tech, worked here for this long. It can compile it in a worksheet like this. So like this is one of the worksheets that I built out that shows exactly like HVAC companies, how many techs they're looking to recruit for. We're doing this in our business because we want to know exactly what it is. I pulled all of this from Indeed using Claude to scrape the data into this sheet. You can do the same thing. This shows the 9 HVAC techs they need, right? This company right here is in West Sacramento. This is their email. This is their phone number. So when you pull this up, if you could get a list of all the HVAC techs that have applied, all of the HVAC techs that are out there on job boards, any kind of like job boards, any kind of licensing boards, and you start pulling the data in, and then you get all their phone numbers, and then we text all these guys. So once I have all this built, then I have my internal team do outreach with text message, outreach with email, and outreach. Basically, they're doing multiple dials and getting them on the phone with offers. Once we talk to one guy that's qualified, we then start to do a snowball effect. 1 becomes 3. He gives us peer references. Now we have 4 techs. 4 becomes 8. And you start building this bench of all these techs. This is the exact model you guys could do yourself. But like, again, it takes a lot of work in there, as we go through. Here's the actual verified cell phones. So Claude can scrape all this data into this, right? So you can do all this for yourself right into this spreadsheet. It'll literally do it for you. And that's what's powerful about it. This is one of the strategies we use to find the techs. So anyway, use Claude, and like it can be a thinking partner for you. I don't know if you guys are using this in your business, but you can literally feed it information. I'm looking for a 10-year truck ready tech. Keep in mind, your goal is to find one guy and spin off 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 different candidates from one quality tech. That's like the magic kind of formula there. Facebook groups. Here's all the Facebook groups. If you're an owner, go join all these Facebook groups in Dallas. Do the same thing for your city. Craigslist Dallas, post under this. So if you want to do basically say, hey, I'm going to go inside of these associations, find the members, find the techs, do outreach to those techs. Find your top pay. So that's like some of the stuff you can do as you start scraping the data as you go through this process. This is some of the stuff that we do for all of our clients. And like, this is the magic of it. But the real magic is we get them on the phone, we sell them to take your position, and we sell them to take the interview, and they come over. But you got to be extremely aggressive with the amount of outreach it takes to get these guys on the phone. Some of the questions that come up all the time for us, I just kind of want to cover these on the call. All right, number 1 question we get, how are you actually finding these candidates? Just like I said, right? So this is a top question a lot of our clients are asking, like, how are you finding candidates? Because we've tried and it doesn't work. Well, because your method doesn't work. You're trying to do demand recruiting. Demand recruiting doesn't work for HVAC. You go out, you post a resume, you post something on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and you get trashy applications and you wonder why it doesn't work. That model doesn't work. That's why we do reverse recruiting, which is we go out, build a network of the guys, talk to high quality techs, ask them to refer us other high quality techs. We talk to 15 or 20 and we find one guy, and it takes a lot of volume and a lot of like grind to do that. So that's how we find the guys, because we all agree, right? There's good techs in your city, but finding them super hard, right? There are always good techs in the city, but they have jobs. So how do you pull them over? They've got to be unhappy, and your offer has to be stronger than your competitor. Number 2, can I talk to references? Like, what are some of the clients you've worked with? The answer is yes. We've worked with a lot of clients, but just like, and like what I tell everyone is like, yes, we do have references you can talk to that we've actually done a lot of work for. I also wouldn't want to bring you on as a client and like have 34 people calling you per day. Because to be honest, we get 15 to 20 companies a day coming to us. So it's just like overwhelming, but we do have a guarantee, which is if you do not get a candidate that you hire, and I don't know any recruiting company that's doing this because we're just confident what we do, you don't pay. It's an automatic refund. In no scenario is that going to happen because we're really good at finding candidates. The worst case scenario is we might take a little bit longer to get the candidate to you. Like if we find a guy and say, hey, Tim, I don't really like this guy. I need somebody with more experience, a different skill set, because we do commercial, we also do residential, we do installers, we do helpers. If we bring someone in, he's not a culture fit, then we go back out. Worst case is maybe it takes a little bit longer, but 100% we're going to find you candidates and we'll work with you until we get you a candidate. Because look, we're looking at this as we want to build a long-term partnership. We're not looking for like one-off recruits, to be fully honest. We're looking to build partnerships with companies because just like I'm building this company to scale it up and sell it, You should be building your company to scale it up to sell it. And you have to have a really good talent. So guess what? I have really good talent on my team. More questions. How is a tech's compensation set? So the way this is set is that we do what's called a recruiting prep call. You get on with Tyler. We look at number one, how much do you pay your tech? What are the time off? What's your culture like? What's your brand like? What are you looking for skill set wise? What are you looking to pay him? And then we go through this and then we build out an offer sheet and we give you consulting around what we think we're seeing in the market and what works. And we build an offer that we know if we go out and we send this out to 500 techs that we're going to get replies because the offer's strong enough. And we want to build it where the on-target earnings is strong enough where it's over market. So you position your spiffs, meaning if this guy's good at sales or he's a good high performer, that he could make over market. But he has to perform, and he performs, and you make more money. So there's a lot of strategy with the offer and the way that's built. You can't go out with a low ball offer in a really competitive market and think you're going to like go somewhere. So it's not that you have to pay a lot more, but you want your base at a certain level. Let's say 80 to 100,000. You want your spiffs at like a higher level where they could earn this amount if they're high performers. So we help you build that out as we go through the process. Is there sales training, HVAC specific? We do have a sales trainer. So we also offer a sales training component to this and some other consulting. So yes, we have a sales trainer. They can come in if you guys are having a sales problem. You should be closing 50% of your deals on full installs, average ticket, 15 to 17,000. You should be building membership clubs. Like we have consulting and back-end advisory around this as well. Oh, here's a great question. I can't get good techs in my area. I hear this all the time. And number one is there's always good techs in your area. And if there's not, it's because you don't know how to find the good techs and pull them over with a good offer. So what we do is like we can go across state lines. So we have multiple clients where we're like looking, hey, can we go across state lines and relocate somebody in with an attractive bonus? Like if you're losing $500,000 per year, might be worth it to do a relocation package to get a really good tech in there and stop bleeding the money. Because here's something I've learned from running a lot of businesses. You have something called an invisible P&L where you're losing $500,000 a year or you're making $500,000 a year. That spinoff's $1 million variance, right? You're losing the money right now, whether you're showing it on your P&L or not, but it's because you don't have the skill set to hire the right guy. So you've got to understand, like, I am losing this money, and that applies to every business. Like, how fast can I stop losing $500,000 because I don't know how to hire the right tech in the door? It's a skill set that can make you $1 million, $2 million. And we just got an offer for a company out of Cleveland for like $6 million 4 or 5 months ago. So like we have private equity fund contacts if you ever get that point. So that's the point, is like you've got to learn how to hire, train, and ramp the right techs. And your ability to do that is hinging upon you selling the company for multi-millions if you want to do that. It's the number one skill set in HVAC. What else? We've tried other recruiters in the past and it hasn't worked. Yeah, of course, because they go out and do demand recruiting. If they go out and put on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, put up ads, they think people are going to come their way. Good luck, man. I mean, there's 100,000 tech shortage. I don't know how that works right now. So you're not going to find guys doing that, and you've all tried it and it hasn't worked. I just got off the phone with the guy. It's like, already blowing money on Indeed trying to find techs. That's why you got to go in the trenches, build a network, build a supply, talk to the techs. And that's the model that works. And then we build a network from techs, good techs, no good techs. You got to sell them to come over, man. You got to sell them to take the interview. That's the only way to do it because there's a lot of unhappy techs. All right. Hopefully this helps, and we'll do this again soon.